I made the January reading list, obviously, because that's what I'm talking about, but it was my birthday month, which is why I have balloons. And I also started school, so I'm going back to school, actually. I'm getting my master's in library and information science. If you can't tell that I'm interested in books from all of these videos and posts. Yeah, so I just wanted to check in and do a recap of what I read in January. So even though I started school, I still read the books that I said I would read, and if you missed that video, I'm going to put a link up here at the top so you can check it out. Two of the books that I read in January I already gave away, so I don't have them here to show you, but the first one was called Men Explain Things to Me, and the second one was called A Portrait of Emily Price. Men Explain Things to Me is a book of essays by a really, really, really amazing journalist and writer who kind of ties the women's movement as well as oppression of women all together into a much more macro picture, which I really loved because I on the one hand really like individual stories of individual people, but on the other hand I'm more of like a big picture kind of person and thinker, so that was really cool. I just really enjoyed it. Her writing is amazing. It's very precise, but yet really evocative. So I guess, you know, she's not flamboyant in her language, yet somehow she paints a really vivid and beautiful picture, even when she's talking about something horrendous, like violence. It was also accompanied by some really amazing paintings that almost looked like photographs. So there was one per chapter, and I also really enjoyed that. So that book is a compilation of her articles for different outlets over the years, but all pulled together into one place. And she actually coined the term mansplaining, and it's when a man explains something to a woman that he's not more knowledgeable than her about. Happens quite a lot. Each article I liked to kind of let it breathe, so I would read one, and then I wanted to take a break and read something else. Also because it's very depressing material, it was kind of too hard for me to ingest all at once, even though it's really thin. And yeah, I already lent it to a friend because it's a really good book. The second book was called A Portrait of Emily Price, and it was kind of fell into that chick lit category that I was talking about in my January video about the books. And while that's not really a genre that I like or seek out, it's about an art restorer, and she goes to Italy, and it's a lot about like food and family in Italy and art. So I like all those things. So I was willing to give it a try, and I think because of those things, I did enjoy it, and I kept kind of waiting for it to get really sappy or cheesy, and it never did. So I was really impressed that the writer was able to take kind of like a cheesy situation and potentially cheesy or stereotypical set of characters and really not make it stereotypical or shallow. So I actually give that a thumbs up too. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2. Which I don't really understand why there's part 1 and 2. Does anyone know? Can anyone explain that to me? It's like part 1, act 1, act 2, part 2, act 3, act 4. I don't really get that. I don't think it needs to have 2 parts. It doesn't really seem that long. Before I read this, I recently reread all of Harry Potter, and I'm gesturing up here because you probably can't see, but I have my Harry Potter series on the top of the bookshelf. I reread Harry Potter last year, so of course I wanted to read The Cursed Child. It says the 8th story, 19 years later, right here on the back. But it's in play form, so it's pretty different. So when I read reviews of it, everyone was like, eh, and I was thinking, like, how could it be eh? I feel like this is the kind of book that either you'd be really enthusiastic about, or you'd really hate, because you'd either be really happy that the series was continuing and what was happening, or you'd be like, leave it alone, it was good how it was. But I have to say that I totally agree. I was really like, eh, about this also. On the one hand, I really liked it, like the story I really liked, and their familiar characters. So it was like nostalgic to visit that again, and I liked the new characters, you know, Harry's kid who this is partially about. I liked that. The story was really good. But yeah, I guess just because it's a play and it's not a book, and we're so used to those really like long, detailed books that really let you immerse yourself in that world, this was just kind of like, eh. It was kind of like getting a taste when you really wanted the full meal, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't deter anyone from reading it. It's also a really fast read. I think I read it in one afternoon because it's, you know, in play form. But yeah, if you feel like reading Harry Potter, I don't really think this is gonna satisfy. One of my favorite books that I've read so far this year was The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. This book is just like everything I wanted it to be. I didn't really know too much about Shonda Rhimes, but she's a creator, writer, and executive producer of Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, and Scandal, and the producer of How to Get Away with Murder and The Catch. She is just amazing. This book is like a memoir slash self-help, but at no parts is it too much of one versus the other? It's just amazing. It basically is what it sounds like. She realized that she's saying no to everything in life and not really living fully, so she decides to have a year of yes. And in case you're wondering, that does include a chapter called Saying Yes to Saying No. She's such a funny, smart, quick, witty writer. You can tell that she writes for TV, and that's a good thing. Yeah, she's just hilarious. It was hilarious. I cried, I think, at one part, and it was so inspirational. Like, I'm definitely going to give this to people, but also keep a copy for myself because it was a fast read. I read it in one evening and then the next morning. So really fast, really good, really motivational for the year. So highly recommend reading this. And my sister actually gave me this short story, but it's like in book form. It's by Gillian Flynn. I don't know if it's Jillian or Gillian, but it's with a G, so I think Gillian. She wrote Gone Girl, and this is a short story she wrote called The Grown Up. And if you like kind of eerie or psychological, thrillery type stuff, this is perfect for you. I read this in one evening when I couldn't fall asleep, and then I got really scared, actually, and I especially couldn't fall asleep because it's creepy. I like that it's like this little book, but it's a short story. It's 65 pages, but yeah, like I said, I read it in like an hour. It's good if you like short stories. I also read Bitch Planet, book 1, and if you remember in my first video I was saying I kept calling this like a graphic novel and then also a comic, and to be totally honest, I think it's a graphic novel, but I'm not really sure. Maybe it's like a bunch of comics put together. That was confusing for me at first because like there's these kind of cover pages type things in the book, and then you go on and then it kind of ends, and then there's like the back cover and then a new page. So like this is the back cover, I don't know if you can kind of see, and then here's like a new page where it says number 2 with a price on it and stuff. So I was pretty confused, but then I realized these are like a compilation. This is book 1, but it has like 5 of the comics in it. It was like Orange is the New Black meets Black Mirror, if you've seen the show Black Mirror. So I actually really liked it, and I ended up not paying too much attention to every individual box. I could still appreciate the art without like looking at everything really critically, because that would have taken a really long time to read. I liked it a lot, and I actually went online to see if I could get book 2, and it's not out yet, so I think I am getting it in April. I pre-ordered it, so if that shows you if you should read it or not, I pre-ordered the next book, so you should. So before I end the video, I just want to say that I'm really happy that I started reading a lot right away at the beginning of the month, because this has been bogging me down. Over 800 pages. It's my textbook for class. I'm taking Introduction to Reference and Information Services. So this is Reference and Information Services in Introduction, 5th edition. And it has a lot of really good information, but even when I like kind of skim, I don't like skimming, I really like reading thoroughly, which, you know, when you have a lot of reading isn't always possible, but even when I kind of skim, there's just so much reading to do for this that I have definitely taken a hit in my personal reading. So I will be releasing very shortly my list of what I'm going to read for February, and if you have any recommendations, let me know. I'm trying to read all, or at least mostly, books by women, if not about women also. So thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please subscribe if you haven't yet, and let me know what kind of videos you want to see, and I have to go to work, so I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching.